Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we've been through so much pain. Life took us separate ways. Both did some hurtful things, but it's not over. You know that we both care. So can we forgive and forget? I need you here.
Y'all can put your comments in the comment box.
The ups and downs and trials we've been through.
Deacon AC will make sure that things are plugged in for you. In case there's links you missed. Brotherly love.
We must forgive and love each other. No matter what life throws at us, we must keep brotherly love.
Brotherly love, brotherly love. Shalom, my brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar with our weekly Patreon. Man, I know this is a pleasant surprise for a lot of you today. I know that was a pleasant surprise when you heard the topic I'm going into briefly before fielding phone calls. That's right. You see this shirt. Thank you, Amath. I Am Apparel. Feast of Tabernacles, in preparation for the Tabernacles that'll be coming up soon. This September is coming up, so we'll be out camping, having our stories and our testimonies out there in the wilderness with our brothers and sisters. And it's going to be a great time for that week. So he made us some shirts. And you can get these shirts on iamapparel.org if you want to participate or go out there in the wild and represent, okay, the Most High's High Holy Day. Before I begin, I would like to say hello to all the people, all the brothers and sisters. I see Sister Sonia, Kim, how are you? Divine Order, nice name. Leah Yasha Allah, another nice one. Well, they all are nice. Sister Tazapar, Jabria. Ashar Bayath, Miss Fia. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Let's see here. Let's see who else we have. Miss Chosen, how are you? Alois, hi. Adara, Dejan, Carissa, Talithia, Damien. Man, how did I know once this topic was rolled out, once y'all seen the title, how did I know there would be more probably women on this particular Patreon than men? I'm like, sisters want to hear what's going on with this, don't they? All right, don't worry about it. Let's jump right in. How you doing, Talithia, Hodges? All of you, bless you. Thank you for being here. Let's jump right in. Some examples. With our title, Unequally Yoked Men and Women. What did Paul mean when he sent the letter to the church not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers? For example, two brothers, here's an example. There's a family who received the truth at once, who are devout Christians. The wife decides to stay a pagan or a Christian, and the husband decides that, no, I want to do this truth. This truth will benefit you as a wife, with me being a lawful man, fearing God, but yet this truth will also allow you to instill the legacy of our forefathers lost in our children. That's a win-win for the whole house. But the wife loved the tradition. She's loved, or whatever the case is, the family traditions, the holidays, the Sunday, the Christmas, whatever the case is, which really does what? It really highlights to her these days have sentimental value to her. These are the days that she show her appreciation for her family, according to her family traditions. So there's a standoff there. Suppose it's vice versa, where the man is headstrong and they're married already and receive the truth. And the man is headstrong. He want to stay a pagan, but she's like, I no longer want to participate with this stuff because I know the truth. This would benefit my family. That's one example. And I'll be able to handle, with bringing out these scriptures, it'll be the answer for all examples for the scriptures I'm going to bring out for you today. A brother meets a young lady who's real nice. She looks good. You know, of course, there's the physical attraction, which is number one. But she's straight worldly, or she's in the church. Does he take her on as a wife in hopes that she will convert into what he believes? He may see this Muslim woman looking real nice with the full covering, modest and all that, but she's single and she finds an attraction to him. How do he handle that? A woman, she knows the truth. She finds the truth. She's baptized. Now, runs into a guy who's tall. I mean, he fits her full bucket list, right? Tall, nice looking, cute, whatever the case is. Makes good money. But he's worldly, or not only that, and he likes her. He like her. Make good money, the full bucket list. But he just can't get down with what you're dealing with religious wise. Do she pursue this man as a husband? Huh? I told you this was going to be quite interesting, right? And I'm going to do a dialogue today because this is, you know, the cozy Patreon thing allow us to be more personable, and I can field some calls. All right. There's going to be drawbacks if we don't follow what the Most High says. And this is how we're going to handle this, right? When I say drawbacks, we have to understand first, man and woman, what we were poisoned with. What we were poisoned with. A man was sent for God's purpose and was poisoned from that purpose. A woman was pulled out of a man for his purpose and was poisoned from that purpose. So it's purpose first, right? So let's go real quick in the Bible. Only a few scriptures today. It's not a full Bible lesson. I'm in Genesis 2. I'm in Genesis 2. Start at 2:15. And the Most High, he took the man and put him into the garden. Now, you know, he put it into the garden to dress it, to name the animals, to have dominion through law over the earth. Man's purpose. And the Most High commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. Enjoy, right? 17. But the Most High God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. 17. But the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. In the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. And the Lord said, it is not good that a man should be alone, and I will make him an help meet for him. Those few verses embodies the purpose of man and woman since or from creation. Man was made to uphold the will of his God, which is man's purpose. A woman is made to help meet that purpose of that man, to help him fulfill his requirements. Right? So every man has an idea this world calls a dream of success for family. Now, the overarching spirit that comes from that is what the Most High put in man to conquer for him. Right? That's dominion. That's bringing home the proverbial beef bacon. Making sure a house is there, providing. All of that is so because that's the man's dominion. His house is his castle. And any woman he finds is helping to what? Meet his purpose. Now that's on a grand scale when it comes to Adam. But we can break this down on the minute level when it comes to endeavors or the direction the man is looking to chart for his life and his family, which mean, and like I said, brothers and sisters, it's different for men than it is for women. Sisters, when you meet a man, he already has a purpose. So according to the Most High, when you meet this man, you are agreeing if you're going to marry or be with that man to help meet his direction. Now, at that point, you have to consider is that something that you want to take on? Why? Because that's your position in the earth according to God, according to a higher. So understanding that you are actually linking in with something that's already moving. He already has a direction. I know what it is to be a man. And men have dreams, ideas, trajectories. So the conflict to come in, if you decide, man, he tick off all the boxes, but yet where he's moving is against what? Your purpose that you wanted for a man of the Most High. Because you're going, if you be with him, two flesh shall become one, and you must help meet whatever direction he's going, which is the reality. The conflict don't come in now after what? The butterflies are gone, and now you're trying to move somebody into a direction when men are already moving. Right? That man had a plan when he talked to you. Yeah, I work at this company. I do this, I do that. And his idea as a man when meeting you is how you can help meet him to be successful according to his purpose, not yours. And this is where sisters get mixed up to think that, okay, because I got the truth, I'm able to switch this guy into thinking like me. No, it doesn't work that way. You must understand what that man's purpose is. Because according to the Most High, when two flesh becomes one, you are to help meet his purpose. If he's a Muslim, if he's a Buddhist, no matter what he's doing, you done linked into a purpose already gone, already moving. And you have done the highest level of submission by giving your body to the person. So you've already signaled to the man, that's right, you're mine, and now it's time for you to help meet what you've agreed to be with. Now, in the olden days, biblical days, sisters didn't have to worry about this because sisters weren't doing the choosing. It was the father vetting the man to make sure that that man was on par with his purpose. And then there was a discussion with the sisters, with the daughter. Do you think he's cute? Do you like him? Is that somebody you think you will be with? But the purpose came first. See? Because why? The Bible says, give honor to the woman as the weaker vessel. When she's emotionally invested, if something happens wrong, she's broken. She's broken. So her choices, she must have a serious vetting system to protect her emotions. Because hurt changes women. It's different for men. So the vetting, and that's why even in the church, we say, well, listen, if you don't got a father, it doesn't matter. It's all right. I'll tell you what, the elder of the church or the deacon of the church, he will stand in as your father and he will be doing the vetting, because what you're getting into, once you link up with the man, that man's authority is above the bishop of the church when it comes to his household. Once you make a decision to be with this man, guess what? The church don't trump him. You chose to help meet and be under him. You must be guided by him when it comes to that house. So this is why in old time, our sisters were protected before making emotional decisions. See? It's not about whether or not the person's cute, how tall they are, how much money they make, because all of those things will wither away. It's the purpose. And then they'll hitch their wagon to something that they thought that they could change, while the man of the Most High just walk right by her. Right? Now, let's talk about the man. Let's talk about the man now. A sister, your position is to help meet the man you submit to, right? Man. Listen to this. I'm in 2nd Esdras, the 3rd chapter. 2nd Esdras 3, and I'll start at 21. 2nd Esdras 3 and 21 reads, for the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed and was overcome. And so be all they that are born of him. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people with the malignity of the root, so that the good departeth away, and the evil abode still. Now, when you go into that malignant root, it's tell you right out, there's a genetic flaw. It's called a malignant root. Now, with the man, if we are to use Adam and Eve as the example, then that's what we're doing here. The man understood his purpose and went against that purpose by partaking of what? The fruit of good and evil, which changed his heart. And his heart did what? It heightened the senses of desire outside of God's purpose. So this is what happens when a man meets a woman and not vetting her whether or not she's a helpmeet according to God, strictly through the flesh, strictly through the physical attraction. You've been poisoned. Because now you're going to struggle with the person who's not on your purpose. They could care less about your purpose. Okay? She just fit the physical dynamics of what you desire. Okay? There's a malignant root. Now you'll be struggling. Now you'll be struggling because only thing she needed was her physical attraction. You ate the poison, and she feels that if this was good enough to get you, guess what? I don't have to change. Guess what? You got to change, because guess what? I chose you out of many men who were chasing me. So now oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do with this woman. Oh God, I'm struggling, blah, 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 and all that. But really, it comes with the initial choice. Right? Initial choice. Which means she could be the potential person, because we all came out of sin. He could be the potential person. But there must be what? Some space to figure out. Some space. And it's usually the meetings of the family. Understanding what the religion is the family's under, or how she was brought up, and vice versa. Doing some serious delving in and researching before actually committing. Because you have your purpose here. You know what you want for the Most High, man and woman. Now it's about vetting to make sure what? You are equally yoked. You are equally yoked, because what? The butterflies and all that stuff is going to eventually go away. And guess what? You're going to be with who you're with. Right? Now, let's go in. I'm going to go to, now we know a man's purpose is to follow the Most High, and or whatever endeavor a man is looking to accomplish. A man is here to have dominion, to conquer, to accomplish. Accomplish is a better word. A woman's position is to understand that man, break down that man, and understand where she fit, and helping him accomplish what he's already established. Not to look at this man and say, I'm going to change him to follow me. A man wasn't meant to be a helpmeet to a woman. Conflict. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6 and 14. Before we go there, let's go to 2 Peter 3 and 16. Second Peter 3 and 16 reads, a matter of fact, let me start at 15. And account that the long suffering of our Savior is salvation. And even as our beloved brother Paul also, according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things in which some things are hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable wrestle, as they do also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction. A lot of people misunderstand Paul. So I'm here to give clarity in what Paul was teaching when he said, be not unequally yoked with unbelievers. So there'll be no gray areas after this Patreon discussion. Now let's go to 2 Corinthians 3:16, if you will. 2 Corinthians 3:16. Matter of fact, let's get it on. Let's see. No, 2 Corinthians, 6:15. What I'm talking about. 2 Corinthians 6:15. 6 and 14. 6:14. Man, all of this is good. But let's start here. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? And what concord hath Christ with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel, an unbeliever? So some of us think, like we said, we can go find someone in the world and change them to see the light, to understand their sins and be baptized, so that what? They can perform their position of God with me. This is what we think. But no, because we don't know what stage what stage a person is under in his life or her life when we meet them. What stage they're in unbelief. We don't even know if they believe what they're doing is wrong or whether or not they even care. Only thing we know is that we are what? Physically attracted to them. Right? Let's be real. That's all we know. But the Bible says if they haven't taken the steps we've taken, they're infidels. They can be into all types of things. You don't know what demons are in these people. So we have to look beyond the physicality. Right? We cannot be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Now let's give an understanding of what Paul was talking about. When he says yoke, before our modern day machines, brothers and sisters, a yoke was used to tie two oxen together in order to plow a field to make, to garden or to make food. You had a yoke, even yoke, and you would put it and tie it to two oxen because an oxen by itself can pull a lot. But suppose you have the power of two. Well, guess what? You'll have twice as much in resources and crops and harvest if you got two plowing together the same time, the same way husband and wife are. Right? You both on the same mission, plowing together. Guess what? You can get more work. You can produce more, make more for the family. That's right. Legacy. Now, suppose you have two oxen yoked together. There's one stick holding them together. And one is trying to go that way. And the other is trying to go that way. How much of the field you think would actually get done? No work, right? Nothing is happening. Nothing's produced. Why? Because they both are yoked together, and they would actually do more if they were broken apart. So you yoke two people together like you would yoke two oxen together who want to go in two separate directions. Nothing gets done. And that's why Paul said, don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers, because you'll spend more time trying to get either or the other, what? On the same page. When the purpose was supposed to be what? That was supposed to be heading the relationship. The purpose for the relationship. The direction and purpose of the relationship was supposed to be the first conversation. Here's my purpose with God. It'll frustrate me if anyone take me on this journey, which took a lifetime for me to find, right? It took a lifetime for me to find this journey. And now I'm going to run into a person who's going to veer me off? Nah, we're going to have to discuss purpose. I don't care whether or not I'm really attracted to you and all these other things is good, but we're going to have to discuss purpose. Because when people are dealing in the world, doesn't matter how good they look, and when stuff get, arguments arise and all these other things that you should have figured out first, that same person you thought was cute becomes ugly. And it's thrown out the window. Right? So it's understanding our purpose first. Not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Now, people get this twisted and confused when they read 2 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. What do Paul mean? What did he mean? Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Because he made it clear here, right? And here's the part that we have to apply before reading the 7th verse. Be ye not unequally yoked with unbelievers. I'm at the 14th verse. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? No. What separate light from darkness? Light and darkness. You'll never see, you never went into a room that was densely dark and say, you know what, it's some not anything you said, what? Cut the light on. And what happens when you cut the light on? Darkness goes away. You can never find these two in the same space. What agreement is it with Christ and Belial, Satan? There's no agreement. You can never see them operating together. So the Most High is saying from the beginning, like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob told their children, no, you can't deal with idolaters. You can't deal with people like that. Because they are moving one direction. They're being moved in one direction by Satan, and you're pulling in the other. And guess what? This toxicity is going to kill both of you. It's going to kill both of you. You're moving in two separate directions. And the physical attraction, it doesn't even matter no more. It's like, who am I with, right? So when you read this scripture, it tell you, no, those two can't be together. So the unbeliever in the 7th verse, 7th chapter, is different than the unbeliever here. It's different than the unbeliever here. Let me read 2 Corinthians 7 now, where it says, be ye not, where it says, if you have an unbelieving husband or wife. Listen to this now. I'm at 1 Corinthians 7. And let me go straight to it. The 11th verse. No, it's 1 Corinthians, I think. Hold on. It's 1 Corinthians 7. I'm sorry. So there's a clear distinction between the 6th chapter, 2 Corinthians 6 and 1 Corinthians 7, because some people believe it's talking about the same unbelievers, and it isn't. 2 Corinthians 6 is saying these are the people you don't deal with at all. Okay? You definitely don't try to make children with unbelievers. So you can vet a person and see what the possibilities are. But when you do the research and understand that this is what you're tying yourself to, you're going to have to make a decision before the physicality. Because once you're in, you're in. See? Proper courtships. And guess what? Having the uncomfortable conversations first. Boy, I wish I knew this when I first found out I was Israel. But anyway, there's more. 1 Corinthians 7 and 11. Hold on. Then we're going to open up the lines in a couple of seconds. Now, I'm going to do a complete lesson on this. I'm going to touch on this in the academy. I'm going to also touch on this on a Sabbath class. But I just wanted to give some insight and destroy misconceptions out there, right? But I'm going to show you where it's different for men than it is with women. I'm going to show you because I know a lot of you tune in to hear that. 1 Corinthians 7 and 11 reads, matter of fact, let's start at the 7th verse. For I would that all men were even as I myself. Paul was single. He chose to be single, understanding the struggles that comes with relationships, right? Now, his past life before Christ was one thing, but once he was faced with the truth concerning his ministry, he chose to be what? A single man for Christ's priesthood. So he says, for I would that all men were even as myself. But every man hath his proper gift of the Most High, one after this manner and another after that. Every man have their own choices. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. Even women, he says, listen, he would rather you choose to be content with not having anyone at all, which is good advice. Why? Because when you burn in your heart through lust, you might make a wrong decision, right? But if you know you have those desires, then guess what? That should lean you more towards making sure you do extra vetting. If you know you're the type of person who don't like to be alone, right? It is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. Now he's talking about a marriage according to the Hebrew law, where families are involved. Not someone just looking at someone and saying, well, they fit my bucket list. They can fulfill what I like physically. Right? But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. It's better to marry than to have those desires and thoughts. What thoughts? The thoughts on fulfilling the flesh. If these thoughts come up more and more and more, it's not saying, well, I need to fix this. It's saying, I need to get married because I'm going to end up one day. I'm going to get caught slipping. Right? So let me focus on how to satisfy both sides of things because these thoughts aren't going away. Right? And unto the married I command. Now this is the married. Yet not I, but the Most High. Let not the wife depart from her husband. And if she depart, let her remain unmarried. Or be reconciled to her husband. And let not the husband put away his wife. Because there's going to be, and why is Paul saying this? Because you're going to have arguments, disagreements. Unless there's fornication involved, the Most High does not justify divorce. Right? So he says, listen, y'all going to have fights. Your mom and daddy had fights in Genesis. And guess what? That malignant root went all the way genetically throughout all of creation. So there'll never be a relationship where there's not disagreements, where even those that are yoking together and plowing together, there's not going to be a time. It's not going to be all cookies and cream here. Not going to be all skipping through the tulips, holding hands, romance. Nah, y'all going to have fights, arguments, disagreements. It comes with the territory. 12. But to the rest speak I not the Most High. If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. Now we're gonna give you full disclosure on what this particular verse means. Because some people might think that this means, okay, if you have someone that's a full-fledged Muslim or Christian and are serving other gods, and because you got the truth now that you're supposed to stay with that person, it's not talking about that. When it says, if she be pleased to dwell with you, that means even though she don't understand everything, she love you enough to be a helpmeet. See? She's not bringing in another God. She's not opposing the God you serve. She's not hating you. See? She's not hating you because of that God. She just don't understand, but you know what? She love you. That's enough, because now I can teach her how to do all the things I need her to do for me, even though she don't fully understand anything about my God. But guess what? She's not serving another God. She's just an unbeliever. So I'm not going to force someone who's doing all the things by law anyway because she loves me. I'm not going to force her to read the Bible and do everything I'm doing. Nah, what I'm going to do is, listen, you're making sure everything in my life is better because you're in it. You're a helpmeet. Whatever I ask you for, you up on it. So you're fulfilling the scriptures anyway, not knowing the scriptures. That's what it means by if one have an unbelieving wife or husband. Some people aren't that religious. See? But they're good people. And they know what their requirements are when it comes to a good relationship. Well, if they're like that, guess what? Don't put them away. This is what it says concerning a man. Let me read it again. Once again. Full understanding here. 1 Corinthians 7 and 12. But to the rest I speak I not the Most High. If any brother have a wife that believeth not. One second. And she be pleased to dwell with him. That means she's willing to do whatever you need, even if she don't understand being Israel and all that. Let him not put her away. Because why? She's not unequally yoked with you. She's not trying to stop you from doing. A matter of fact, she's not against how your children are raised. She's doing all that you would like to do. She just don't believe and understand the God you serve. Guess what? It's okay. If you work with her, eventually that person will come around when they begin to see the value of doing it. But they're not against you. They're not against the Bible. See? And the woman which hath a husband that believeth not, if he be pleased to dwell with you, which means he's not getting in the way of who you're serving. He's not getting in the way of it. If he pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. Because the Most High is still being served in that house. But guess what? Another God isn't being served in there. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases. Right? So if someone want to serve another God, being an unbeliever, if they depart and they say, well, listen, I'm out, that's when the person is freed from that bond. Because dealing with another God is spiritual fornication. That's spiritual fornication. Now, it's harder for men than it is for women, because why? Women agree to be a helpmeet to that man according to his beliefs, which makes it harder for her to just cut ties, having those emotions, and that's number one, and that commitment according to her God, which makes it harder for women. Men on the other side, like for instance, a believing man has a wife, and now she goes out and become a Muslim, or she goes out and try to serve Buddha. Right there, I'll say, listen, I'll tell you what, that doesn't fly here. We're not going to be unequally yoked because I'm serving the God of Israel. Are you going to put that God down? Well, no, this is my way of life. And at the end of the day, it's the same God that I'm like, you know what? It's over. Okay? It's okay. There's no arguments. Go in peace. What belongs to you belongs to you. Take it. It's okay. Do you want more? But you will not serve another God under my roof. Well, it's harder for a woman to do that in this society. Okay? Because a man brings forth what? The dominion, the direction. Okay? It's harder for a woman to do so. So a woman has to actually understand how to operate with a man who's working like that, or you know, out there like that. When it comes to what? Paganism. If that's what you were in from the beginning. But if he say, listen, I'm out of here, I can't take this no more, and he leaves, then you're no longer under bonds. But it's going to be a harder deal for women. It is, because the Bible says, give honor to the woman as the weaker vessel. So the solution is, before getting into something, man and woman, have the hard conversations. You must lead with the truth of your God. You cannot put that under a table and then ambush someone with this belief after you've already consummated. It's wrong. Because this truth and this light, what you're dealing with, is what? Life changing. It's not something you spring on someone in hopes of them getting it later. I mean, when I received this truth, it changed my whole life. That's how powerful the word is. That's nothing you want to spring in later. You want to deal with that power first. Either it's going to run the devil away, or you might have something to work with. But you'll never know unless you lead with your God. All right. So so in Corinthians, to clear it all up for you all, in Corinthians 7, it's not saying you're supposed to stay with a person who's a straight pagan. No. The unbeliever, a straight pagan, is the one you're not unequally yoked with. Just like light has no union with darkness. No. Oh, you want to deal with Allah? I don't care how good you look. Peace out. You're not bringing no devil up into me, because I know the God I serve, and I understand that we wrestle not with flesh and blood. And while we're sleeping, the God you serve and the demons you're bringing in will be opposing me and my house while we sleep. Folks, and I'm going here because why? The Most High put a divide in this earth where hard choices must be made. And if the Bible have taught us anything, The greatest weaponry Satan have used is to have one sleep with the enemy, if he can turn one against the other. Men and women unequally yoked. But when they are yoked together in the spirit of the Almighty and are moving that plow together with one direction, with the man leading with a purpose, a woman can help me. Guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, the darkness of this world cannot oppose such power when we're on one page. And that's how important it is to make sure you lead with the truth when it comes to relationships. Oh, I finished in a timely fashion. Let me open up the calls for 15 minutes to field any questions. And make sure, please, we will only speak pertaining to this topic. 515-605-9327. Let's do it. Let me get my headphones here.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
All right.
Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
All right, let's do it. Let's see, Blog Talk. Oh, here we go. 1 second. All right. Let's do it here. Let's do it. All right. 1 second. All right. 1 second. Let me try it once more. 1 second, folks. All right, let's do it. All right, let's do it. I is calling back Israel. Oh. All right. Let's do it here. Let me try it once more, folks. All right. I is calling back Israel.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, we're live on Blog Talk here. 1 second. 630 area code. 630 area code. Men and women unequally yoked will be taking calls for 15 minutes. And thank you being a loyal Patreon member. I hope this information can be applied to give peace when it comes to choosing or being in our relationships, holy relationships. 816 area code. Shalom, you're live.
Shalom, Elder. How's it?
Bless you.
Hello. I had a question concerning the topic. I was wondering how's it looked, I guess, with a spouse that's unbelieving but is, I guess, worshiping the God of Christianity? Is that considered unequally yoked?
Okay, when you say worshiping the God of Christianity, do you mean she goes to church and all that?
Yes, and celebrates the holidays.
Okay, a woman like that had to be put on some level of notice almost immediately. Because is that a helpmeet for you? You're serving two separate gods. A matter of fact, it tell you if both of you are not together in serving God, your prayers are hindered or being hindered. Who she's praying to? How can a husband and wife be praying to two separate gods? So that sister must be put on notice and saying, you listen, I'm a man of God with a purpose. You have to help me. I need a woman who's going to help meet me. So you got a choice to make. If you're going to serve that God, it can't be with me. That's what leaders do.
Okay. Because I was asking because it does state that, I guess in that scripture, that they're sanctified by that believing spouse.
See, but
And
I
I
think,
just wonder how long,
yeah, but I
how
think,
long would that last?
see, but I think you missed something. You missed 2 Corinthians, the 6th chapter. 2 Corinthians, the 6th chapter made it clear. Right? Now, listen, you can do what you want, but you'll have to deal with what comes with that choice. Okay? I'm not telling you, that to leave anyone or anything, but you got to live with that choice. Believe it or not,
Right.
Whatever God she's serving, the spirits she's dealing with, they're going to appear at the most inopportune time to stop you. Okay? Let me read this. 2
Right,
Corinthians.
I'm married, yeah.
No, but this ain't this. When it comes to the scriptures, this is not open to gray areas, and this is why we're making it clear according to the Bible. The difference between 2 Corinthians 6, unbeliever, and 1 Corinthians 7's unbeliever. Right? 2 Corinthians 6 and 14 reads, "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers." So isn't Paul telling you not to be yoked with an unbeliever?
Yes.
So he's not going to come back, go into another scripture and say that your children is sanctified with you being with an unbeliever. The unbeliever in 1 Corinthians 7, brother, is different. The unbeliever in 1 Corinthians is a person who don't oppose who you're dealing with. But they're not bringing another God in. They just don't understand what you're dealing with. But they're pleased to dwell with you, which means not just happy to have a place to stay. She's happy doing everything you need as a husband or man of the Most High, even though she don't fully understand your God. This unbeliever isn't bringing in a separate God altogether into your home, confusing your children. Got it?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because
I understand.
Because who's the nurturer and who teaches the legacy and tradition and values to the children before they're raised to men or women? Who's the key teacher in the home before they become adults?
The mother.
Thank you. So that means your children are being influenced against you. An unbeliever who know nothing at all will just teach the children what you tell her to teach them, because she don't have an influence. She's going to do exactly what you say, even though she don't fully understand. So those are the two differences in the believers. No one is going to be coming in my house after Sunday morning, taking off a Sunday hat, talking about how you doing, babe, what you want for dinner. No, thank you.
I got it.
So that's a difference, and that's why I pulled out. I don't know how long you were here. That's why I pulled out the scriptures first to show you being unequally yoked goes into the unbelievers that believers cannot be with. Because what union do Christ have with Belial, or light with darkness?
Exactly.
So if someone is a fervent pagan and dealing with Christianity or something, it's time to make a move, because eventually that demon she's serving is going to come in at the most inopportune time. And what man allows a woman, to teach paganism to their children?
Exactly.
I'm asking you. Is that a man of
Oh, it
dominion?
shouldn't
I'm
happen.
asking. Listen, I'm asking you. Is that a man of dominion who's actually showing forth, brother, a dominant position in his home?
It is not.
Yeah. So then you have to ask who's wearing the pants there, right?
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yeah, I was
Oh,
missing you because I was driving, hitting
yeah,
dead
yeah.
spots and losing my signal, so I was missing all the good stuff. That's why I had to call
Okay.
in.
So it's cleared up for you now,
Yeah,
right?
I'm solid. Oh,
All right.
absolutely.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.
Bless you, brother.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Bless you.
Bless you. 302 area code.
Bless you, Elder.
Bless you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for this powerful subject. We, as our people, we definitely need to know the difference. You know, I've been married for like 32 years, and my husband and I, you know, we live in the same house. Our children are grown, and they have their own home, and they have their own children. So it's just him and I.
Okay.
But I'm noticing that he doesn't believe. I think he doesn't believe my God. Maybe it's just me. He was born into the Catholic religion, and I just awakened to the truth.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm being pulled, and I'm frustrated all the time because like I'm taking the classes and I'm reading the Bible, and there's some confusion between us.
Of course, there's confusion, but like I said, it's different for a man than it is for a woman. The reality is he's always been a good man and a provider according to the laws of God when it came to your home. And when you
Yeah.
married him, you agreed to be a helpmeet according to his direction, not the other way around. So the frustration comes with you being
Yeah.
able to see, but yet he's the man you met. And he's a good enough man to the degree where you're still with him. So, because the change is predominantly with you and you are the helpmeet to him, you are to still provide and to do the things according to a wife to help him. Why?
Okay.
Why? Because that's pleasing to the Most High. Now, if one day he says, listen, I can't do this no more, and up and leave because of it, you know, it's not going to be because you frustrated him for not seeing what you see, because that's wrong. You're not to frustrate him. You ought to be the wife that the Most High meant for you to be, because all in all, this particular man, he does what?
90 seconds.
He fears the Most High to some degree, and he has a moral standard. If you frustrate that, you understand? If you frustrate that, you'll do more damage than good. If you be a good wife and continue to do what you're doing, eventually him seeing you not change when it comes to him might bring him around. You can't frustrate
60
him.
Wow.
seconds.
That's what I need not to do, and I don't know how to.
This is how. Have a discussion with him and say, listen, I can listen, this understanding hit me like a ton of bricks with me not understanding who I was. It was like Christ intervening with Paul on the road to Damascus, and it almost changed my life almost immediately. But what I didn't understand is how that would probably impact my relationship with you. I didn't mean to offend in this journey, in this understanding, my obligation to you as a husband. Now, if you say
10
that,
seconds.
I'm giving you the wisdom to break right through.
That's great. But Elder, I don't know how to express that to him because it comes out with anger.
Well, this is how you have to do it. You have to pray before you do it. Listen back to this Patreon, and if you have to write down the words I've just said, use them. Okay? Because it's the truth. This is your journey, but it wasn't to disrupt your husband. He needs to know that. Because he don't need to be feel less than in his home when he's always provided and have always done the duties of a husband, even though he don't know the truth.
Yes, yes.
Right? Something
He is,
came.
he's a good guy.
He is, but something came in and disrupt his peace, his pagan peace.
Yes.
Right?
the
So the whole thing is, that's why I say it's harder for women than it is for men. You have to understand, well, listen, men are protectors by nature. They are, they're dominant by nature. And one thing about a man is that a man don't feel right if his house is being influenced by someone who hasn't provided for him in his home. So to him,
Yes.
he's thinking, so listen, so to him, there's some guy on the internet somewhere that have more influence over my woman than me.
Ooh.
So right there, scriptures and everything goes out the window when it comes to that, because I worked to keep my home secure, and something comes in the back door to change my life. You know what? I understand what he's going through. And so it's not even going to be about, listen, it's not going to be about scriptures for him. It's going to be about the pride of him being a good man, providing for his home, and that's not good enough. Still, there's somebody you don't know have did nothing for you, and you have more. This man's word have more weight than mine. Understand that's unfair to him. So anything, you're going to harden his heart if you don't know how to approach this right. You have to let him know, listen, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I didn't realize how it was going to affect you, because I thought maybe you would receive this, but all in all, you understand? I care for you, and I want to get back. I want to get back to that place we were when we were good. You have to tell him that and say, listen, I can't unsee what I've seen, but I don't want to disrespect my obligation to you as a helpmeet either. And have the conversation, and when you both discuss it out, he's going to come out of his heart and tell you, well, listen, he's going to let you know what he respects about what you're doing, but he's going to also let you know when you are crossing boundaries. But that conversation have to be had with him. So the icebreaker the icebreaker initially is, and I know it's hard to say this, first of all, even though what I'm dealing with and I think is right and I know it's right, I'm sorry. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sister.
Yes, I do a lot of that too. I'm sorry.
Well, that's good. It's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bless you.
Elder.
Yes.
Elder. I have one more question. What's your protocol to come to your church?
Well, the protocol of all churches is to get with the local leader, and the local leader will set that up according to protocol, especially under this so-called pandemic thing. We have strict protocol, but it's no problem. Once you get there, we go through the setup where there's a baptism class and all those things, so you know what you're getting into, and then eventually, you'll fellowship. The sooner you connect, the better. The quicker it'll happen.
Yeah, because I did that through online, and I spoke to one of the administrators, and I'm willing to get baptized. So I was told that I would need to do the classes online, and I was asked some questions, and so that's why I asked.
Well, just send another email to GOCC South, or a matter of fact, where are you, Maryland?
No, I'm in Delaware. I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago
Okay,
about
yeah.
coming to the Philadelphia. Yeah.
Okay, well, someone spoke with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
They
well, just
did. They
follow up
called
on
me
that.
yesterday.
There you go. You already on
Yeah.
you already on your way. You're gonna
Yeah.
you'll be amongst the body. All right. All right. Thank you,
Okay.
sister.
Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.
All right. Next call. 816. I already did 816. I think 630. Shalom.
Shalom, Elder. How are you today?
I'm blessed by the best. How are you?
I'm good. I'm thankful to actually get through to you today. I just wanted to say thank you for this lesson and clarification on these scriptures today.
Yeah.
It has definitely been very helpful because these are a lot of the scriptures that are used to kind of make you feel guilty, as to whether or not what you should do in the situation with a certain spouse. So I think that it's good to bring that out for sure. I know, like, for my situation, I don't want to take up too much time. I know you probably have a lot of calls, but I just wanted to briefly share with you and the GOCC family. My situation was, I had met my husband. He was in high school. I was a freshman in college, blah, blah, blah. We both came from Babylonian Christian households, basically, Baptist, non-denominational. I went to all-girl Catholic high school. He was forced to go to church on Wednesdays and Sundays. I only went for special occasions.
Sister, you got to get to it. Sister, you have to get right to it. I
I'm getting
apologize,
to it.
but
So basically, long
yeah.
story short, we ended up, coming into the truth together. And then it was a little bit too much for him because we started to be shadow banned. We started to be gang stalked. We started to go through a lot of stuff, I'm sure I could say that on Patreon, I hope at least. But anyway, it ended up to him, kind of turning away from the truth. And it became a hard situation because what do you do? Like, you have this person, okay, so eventually at first they're, willing to accept you doing certain things, as far as the word goes. But then eventually they're starting to downgrade
Sister,
you because of that.
I understand that you're getting it all out, but it makes me
kids,
hard. It makes it hard for me to give you a definitive answer according to wisdom if it can't be quantified into what your question is. What is your question?
Got it. So, no problem. So, I guess because I have like a list of things to say, but not a lot of time. But let me just
it ain't about the time.
So if you have
it's not
someone
about the time. It's about there is a question in this, right?
Yes.
What is the question?
So I guess I was always okay. So my belief was that God doesn't like divorce. So you cannot divorce somebody, just because they're going through something mental, even if they're worshiping demons, trying to bring in paganism into your household.
But sister, you're
them.
speaking about yourself, but you're speaking in general when you say people. You're vague. Are you
Right.
saying that your husband is dealing with paganism?
Well, as far as like demon worship, summoning demons,
Listen.
and we were actually.
When you say summoning demons, give me an example of that.
Yeah. So watching certain YouTubes, finding out like how to call on demon names, summoning them into my house.
Okay, let's reel this back. You're saying that your husband is on YouTube looking at videos on how to summon demons?
Yes. So I mean, this has been like 2 years ago. He hasn't been in my house for 2 years, but yes, he was.
See, now this is going all over the place. Now he's not in your home. Where is he?
So that's what I was saying. Like, so he has his own apartment. He wants to be in a home, but he can't be in a home because he started to have like a mental breakdown, and he started to do things and say things to me and to my children to the point where DCFS had him basically removed from the home, or else I would lose my children.
Sister,
so
sister,
he's
listen
not
to me.
in the house at the time.
Slow up for a second. Slow up. Can you hear how me listening to this can think that this is just a ball of confusion?
Yes, I
Okay,
definitely do.
hold
So
up, hold
I
up.
guess the way that I
No,
wanted
no,
to
no, no,
present
no.
it to
Slow up,
you,
sister. Slow up, please. Calm down. Take a breath.
and I think that there's a lag too, because like I'm looking at you and I can barely hear you, and then I see you talking.
Well, only hear me through this. Ignore me through the
Okay.
video because it's going to throw you off. You
Got
can
it.
take the page of the video and put the video down.
Okay.
All right. He's not with you. He's in another place. You're living in another place.
Yes.
What are you asking me?
Yes. I'm asking, but he wants to be in my home. So, the scripture that says you're not supposed to put a person away. So am I going against the Most High because I won't allow him into my home, I guess, is what I'm trying to get
Well,
to.
the question is he still summoning demons?
He says that he is not, but
All right.
I don't know that until after
Okay.
he's back in the home.
Oh, okay. Now, y'all separated for a time, like the scriptures say. There was no need to bring up what he used to do if he says that he's not going to do it. You have to decide, having a conversation with him, what the parameters will be, which is really wild in itself because men lose power or lack power altogether if he have to ask a woman for a place to stay. So there's so many dynamics there where he don't even if he wanted to be a man in his home and lay down the law, he couldn't because he don't have anything. Right? So you're the man and he's the
Right.
woman asking you for a place to stay. I'm talking about role reversals here. Right?
Essentially, yes.
Okay. So what are you putting? What are you both discussing that would have him take that position and not be dependent on your couch or your house? So there's a lot of different dynamics than just an unbeliever here, brother. I mean, sister. There's dysfunction going on. Role reversals going
Yes.
on.
Major
This is way
dysfunction.
more complex
Yes.
than what I've just discussed. So to make it simple,
Right.
what have to be discussed is his walk with the Most High. Since you're already separated, usually you separate it while coming together with what? With a plan of how this house will be better after coming together according to the purposes of God. He have to be first, and the Most High has to be first with his word, and he have to be able to quantify this man on how he's going to be fully respected in a position of authority. Those plans must be discussed. Okay?
Got it.
Which is
And just really quick, so, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
listen to me. The word of the Most High, the purpose
Yes.
according to why a man of the Most High is on earth is to serve the living God and to keep his commandments. The position of him being a protector and provider over the family, teaching the children if he's capable according to the word. So there's a lot of things going there, and it sounds to me there's some serious underlying dysfunctional issues that cannot be cured in a 5-minute phone call.
No, I got you. And just really quick, what is your opinion like on if there was emotional and spiritual negative impacts on children, then do you bring that back around your children, or do you give another? I mean, how many chances? I know we give 70 times 7, but
Sister, are you in a church?
at some point you become responsible.
Are you in a church?
Not officially, no.
Okay, this takes separate counseling. There's nothing on the phone call that you're going to get today that's going to fix what's going on there.
Okay.
All right. What we can
Okay, I
do is
would
we
try
can.
to reach out to somebody in the
No,
local
no.
church.
What city and state are you in?
In Chicago.
Chicago. One moment. Hold on. Your name?
Sharice.
Sharice?
Sharice.
Okay, great.
Uh-huh.
Nice to meet you, Sharice. And this is what we all go through as a
Nice to
people.
meet you too.
But but all in all, I'm going to give you a number to Elder Gabar. He'll be able to reach out to you because there's too many things to impact.
Okay.
And the good thing about it's too many things to unpack and fix overnight. But the good thing about it is before you're baptized, things have already begun to move to where he's someplace, you're someplace, and now you're going to determine how both of you or you as an individual first will go through this walk. Okay? Because counseling have to be had to get some understanding on whether or not this thing that have separated can survive. No telling what he's dealing with and no telling what you're dealing with because you're not under the church. So,
Right.
private
Right.
conversations need to be had, okay?
Okay.
So,
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, so I'll make sure Elder Gabar get your call, get the number, and you can be looking forward to that call, okay, Sharice?
Okay, thanks so much.
All right, bless you. All right, thank you.
Bless you. Shalom.
Shalom. All right, next call, 773 area code.
Shalom.
Shalom, how are you?
Shalom, Elder.
How are you?
I'm good, brother. I am blessed. I'm happy. One thing I want to just say to you, the 12th year anniversary was outstanding.
Praise the Most High. The 12-year journey, I'm still floating. I'm on cloud 9, cloud 12. But go ahead. I'm listening to you. Thank you, brother.
And you know what, Elder, it was personal for me because I started with the church. I'm not with a body, but I started listening to you in 2009. My son is 12 years old. I'm teaching him about the Bible as I'm learning, and it just came full blown, and I was crying through the whole session because it was personal, dude, brother. But what I wanted to say to you was thank you, and I want to get baptized. I'm trying to get baptized. I've been through the classes. I want to get baptized. So
where do you live?
Help me, brother. Memphis, Tennessee.
Man, I'll be trying to keep these things on topic. You have to send an email. Have you sent an email to goccsouth@yahoo.com?
Yes, I've done that. I've done a class. I was supposed to get with an elder. He was supposed to call me from Atlanta. Nothing ever transpired.
Okay,
all
right, one moment. Let me have your name.
My name is Lamont, Lamont. And I'm on topic. My wife and I, we had this discussion. She thought that we were going to be unequally yoked because we both went through church, but we did not know God. 12 years ago, I started to learn about God and to know who He is and how He better our life. 12 years past, He has bettered our life, and she see the fruit of it, but she still is like on the fence. But she see the labor, she see the fruit and the positivity of me going through the classes.
Here's the question. She's on the fence. Does that mean she's operating full-fledged pagan? If she's in the Christian church?
No. We're not in the Christian church. She's not a full page.
Yeah. So the whole thing is that's an unbeliever that's pleased to dwell with you. There's no issue there.
Yes.
Because she's still doing her duty to you as a husband. At least she ain't bringing a different God in your home. She's fine. Because she's covered by you.
Yeah, but sometimes I think I'm letting her down because I'm not doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing as a husband. Minus, I'm not baptized, and I know I should be doing more, but I'm scared to do more because I'm not baptized. I'm not covered. So
Well,
I'm scared in certain
Well,
instances. If that
don't
makes
worry
sense.
about it. I'm going to give this number to Elder Lawyer. You're going to get a call and get in the work. She'll be proud. Okay?
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's get on this journey, man. We
Thank
have a
you.
lot of fighting to
Thank you.
do. Spiritual warfare, my man.
Man,
Shalom.
brother, thank you. Thank you. And
Bless
shalom to the family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace. Peace.
I think this is overseas. England?
Oh. Hello, Shalom.
How are you doing, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm doing well. It was a brilliant lesson, brother, you brought out, and I would just like to give a testimony that I had from the past.
Okay, your name, location?
It was, I am here in UK in North Devon. I'm with, I would say, the Birmingham body or Bristol.
Okay, go on. Is it going to be a long
And
testimony?
my-
Because usually we do these
no.
Patreons, they're quick. All right, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, so simply, yeah, my name is Emilis, and the experience that I had from the past with you see, pornography when coming up in the truth that I suffered with was basically, remember, it came all over from the past when I was even younger, and as I'm
Okay.
sorry, a bit hard to get it
No,
together.
take your time, brother. Come on. But understand, we're on the clock. Come on. Let it out.
Yeah.
Come on.
When I simply went in it, I remember I was doing, all the stuff, getting into it, and I knew, it was wrong. Every time I would just satisfy my flesh or whatever, I knew
Okay.
it was wrong. It wasn't right afterwards. And remember, I was just looking to the point, looking for scripture, and especially, viewing your videos to where I could find an answer. And I remember one day just came across, a scripture. If you lust after a woman in thy heart, you already committed adultery with her, because through that was my second falling into pornography, because I thought,
I'm with you.
I was out of it. I was good. I was, out of it, out from it, but I just had the thought in my mind that, I'm just going to take a little look in it, a little peek, but I won't go into it. And through that peek, through that little look, boom, reaction came in, and I'll fall into it again. And when I found that scripture, that just really highlighted the downfall, and gave me strong faith and belief in the Bible, where I carried on, especially with your videos, Elder Ricard, to continue this journey, being now at the moment somewhere around, 3 years in it. And
Well, that's
that was
absolutely
around
amazing.
2 years ago. Yeah, and especially even as I reflected it, what gave me even more spiritual, stronger strength to resist it every time that it still tempts me, whenever I would see an image of maybe, a woman trying to show off her flesh.
In the framework of this particular Patreon, this broadcast, I don't like to veer off a topic. Do you have anything on topic before I go to the next call? I'm glad you was able to overcome that with the truth and with this church. But do you have anything on a topic? Because I got a lot of people waiting.
I could say maybe at the end that really simply I saw no benefit, like before you were speaking, when men are attractive, by the outward appearance of a woman, and do not think what's actually inside the woman, the internal bit.
Exactly.
And that's when I managed to find that spot, like, no, you're not going to attract me with your physical appearance unless I'm going to know what's inside you.
Now, see,
You're not going to get me down to that.
Now you've tied it together, right? And there's a scripture on that, James, right? Let me read it real quick.
Yeah.
The 12th verse, James 1:12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Most High have promised to them that love him. Let no man say, when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. Sometimes you will see a woman out there and she's got leggings on and all this other stuff. Don't you know that when she put that on, it was with the full express purpose of attracting a man sexually? Now, so some people would say, man, I met this girl, man, maybe the Most High, maybe God is showing me something. No, she's showing you something. When women put on clothes, they look in the mirror and they turn around and they do all these things to see what she's expecting a man to see. So if it does something for her, when she see it, she know it's going to be for a man 100-fold. So it says this, James 3:1-13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. Because we try to justify our actions by saying that, man, it's the Most High that brought it in front of me, right? For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. So clothing in of itself, and to a lot of degrees, even makeup. A lot of people don't know makeup means exactly that. Now, I can understand if somebody had blemishes and all that and someone got scarred or whatever the case is, and they're trying to cover that. But when someone puts on a full face, makeup, when we were growing up and I remember having conversations with my friends, and I was like, man, I think he's making that up. That's the implication is that it isn't true. Man, you making that up. And then when I did the research on that, I wanted to see in our modern time when that became a thing. At one time, makeup became really a thing to do during the time of the Roman Empire, where the actors and actresses were wearing makeup. Because why? There were no women actresses, or men was wearing makeup because there was no women actresses. They would have to put on the makeup to play female roles, men. So it was a cross-dressing thing as well as a prostitution thing. A lot of people don't know that. That's really the origin of makeup. All right. And it says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. There you go. Women know exactly how to entice a man. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So there's a lot of things going on when Eve partook of that tree of good and evil. All right, there's a lot of components that came in and where Adam was like, listen, let me get some too. But all in all, folks, that's what it is. It's when a man has a singular focus on something outside of the Most High when it comes to that, and that lust is conceived in that man's heart and it turns him dark. All right. So I wanted to, since you said that, it relates to what I was going to end with scriptures already. Well, brother, I thank you. I need to go to the next call though. Okay. Anything you have to say before I segue?
Oh, and also, would you be happy if I could have a personal talk with you, brother, if you're free or not, today or whatever day?
Well, it can't happen today, but probably Monday. Let's see.
Oh, that's fine by me. I can wait till then.
What's your name?
Whenever you can, brother. It's Emilis. Emilis.
Okay, let me write your number down. Hold on. 1 second. UK. One second here. I can only take one more call, one or two, and then this concludes our Patreon discussion for today. All right, then, Melissa, I'll call you Monday, all right?
Okay, agreed. So,
All right,
brother.
bless you.
Bless you all.
224 area code.
How you doing, brother?
I'm blessed by the best. You?
Wonderful, thank you. I'm gonna get straight to it, and that's how you like it. I tell you this: when I was in the world, all right, I couldn't stop my phone from ringing. When I got into the truth and the word, good luck telling a woman, no, we're not gonna put up no Christmas tree moving forward when that's what she's been doing her entire life. One point I'm trying to make, yeah, I get it, he's a good man. I get it, she's a good woman. But when you walk in this truth, it's not an easy walk. And to try to get someone to break a tradition that they've been doing for years, it's not a hop, jump, and a skip. It's very challenging. So it was a lot easier when I was in the world, but obviously once you get in the truth, you can't go back.
Yeah, it's right on. But hey, but I want to say this. Many would be surprised how many women out there that are good, modest women, as long as a man has a direction. Sometimes a woman would be like, well, okay. See, the mistake we make as men is putting out there what she can't do and what she shouldn't do, right? But without filling in with how it's going to benefit her if she doesn't. Right? So it's like, you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that. No, be like, listen, I don't celebrate those days, right? But here's my obligation to a woman according to the Almighty. And here's the holy days that are in the Bible where whatever you like to do on those days, here's the calendar. So it's not like you can't do these things because it's in you to do it. They think they're being deprived of being able to entertain and do what they need to do. But it should be with full disclosure to let her know, listen, yeah, you're giving something up, but this is what you're receiving. See? Sometimes,
yeah, absolutely.
So it's hard. I'm just putting it out there. Now, of course, that's like finding a needle in a haystack, but it still exists. Where women wouldn't mind putting something down or whatever the case is, but they have to be filled in on what the benefits of doing what we're presenting. What the benefit of that is. So I think that the conversations on how to communicate what this is will do what? Dissuade or persuade a person to either follow the Most High or not. So we're following it because not only do we see that the Most High say don't do it, we also have done what? We see the benefit of it. So now they have to be discussed.
We definitely see the benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
We definitely see the benefit, brother. So let me ask you this. Like just like the song said, what do the lonely do on Christmas? Now that we're in this truth, we can't go back. So we're not going to follow these pagan holidays. We're going to follow the holidays. We're going to follow the holy days. So, you get into this truth, and guess what? You can't go to the party. So I need to link up with GLCC all around because, you can't go backwards.
That's
you can't, right? So what's going on here? Take my number, get my city, and link me up because...
where you at? Where are you?
I'm in Chicago.
Okay, I'll make sure I give you... all right. Now, all right. Have you reached out before?
I have.
Okay, well, I'm going to make sure all of these numbers get in the right hands, so that you can get on the board. All right, Chicago. Hold on. Let me have your name.
Ray.
Ray.
R-A-Y. Ray.
All right, Ray. We got you, Chicago. Ray. I'm gonna give you a number to Elder Gabar. All right.
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
All right, bless you. Shalom.
Shalom.
Last call, 773 area code. Last call for today. Shalom.
Shalom, Elder.
How are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. My name is Shakita Amos, and I am currently doing baptism classes at the GLCC Chicago location.
Great. A lot of Chicago today.
I have a quick question.
Go on.
Yeah. I have a quick question concerning the topic. Okay. Unequally Yoked. I just recently came into the truth maybe about 5 months ago.
Okay.
My kid's father, me and my kid's father has been together roughly 10, 12 years. We were in the world, seemed like we had everything in common then. Upon me coming into the truth, he decided to pack up and leave. And he made a statement that this was going to tear us apart. All right, so fast forward. This was just recently. Fast forward. I found out I had made the decision that, no intimacy or whatever the case may be. He said that he was fine with it. I found out that I was pregnant again by the same guy. And he decided that he would, try to do the right thing and do some of the lessons, just be open to the whole awakening.
Sister, hold up, because it sounds like pieces are missing here, right? Unless we're talking about an immaculate conception.
No. To fill it in, before the awakening, around April, I was awakened to the truth. We were doing, we were intimate and things of that nature. He moved out because of me being awakened. I found out at 15 weeks that we were expecting another child. So I let him know what was going on. All right. So then, he told me, I'm open to the truth. I'll do this. I'll do that. Just to open him up to it. My question now is this. He's been back in the home for about a month or so.
Yeah.
Every time I watch you on Wednesday nights or Friday nights, he disappears. He wants to go to Indiana, and he stays gone until I'm done with the Sabbath lesson. My question is, how do I move forward with him, with the baby involved?
Are you in church?
I'm not baptized, but yes, I am at the GLCC Chicago, and I'm also doing the baptism classes.
Okay. What you have to do is, because one thing about coming out into the world, into the truth, we come in with all these decisions that were made, these these untied issues, right? But we're coming into the truth to bring some clarity on how to go forward. Right?
Right.
So being that you're in baptism, part of the baptism process is the counseling that's provided in the midst of this, where you can bring them along and y'all can speak to the leadership we have there to see if we can salvage this, you understand? To salvage what's going on with him, whatever the case is, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's usually harder on a woman, especially because look at your situation, right? So,
correct.
But hey, he's a whole individual with a direction of his own that he may think is right. So the dynamic cannot be solved on the phone call without hearing both parties. So this goes into what I was telling the other sister. Go through your baptism process. Don't even force anything. And then set up a scenario for counseling to discuss what's going on. If there's any underlying issues that need to be fixed spiritually, so that y'all can, be on one accord, equally yoked. But there's no way to figure out that without the other party involved.
Right. What if he's not even open to discussing it or, having a conversation with? Because tomorrow.
Listen. Tomorrow have enough evils in itself, right? And I know women are usually security driven in certain areas.
Okay.
But the whole thing is, you're reeling after something that already, out of your interaction, a whole person is coming into this realm. So now we're trying to deal with the decisions on the back end, right? So the whole deal is, not women, but what you're trying to do is trying to calculate what to do and how to do it, to give you some ease at the end of it. But it's your situation is too complex for that. Okay. You can only walk in what you as a sister can control yourself. What you can control yourself is your baptism. All right? Okay. And the counseling.
Right.
Okay, you made choices. He was one of those. But you have to brace yourself for your choices either way. No, and I don't know him. with you understanding it, right? You have to brace yourself for either outcome with you knowing them. You brace yourself for the outcome that if you pray and all that, the hopeful side of things that through counseling he'll see like you see and come through, or you have to brace yourself for what you were with the whole time and know that he can very well go that way, because men are headstrong when it comes to what? Their purpose. And his purpose may be in direct contrast to the Most High's.
Correct.
So sister, the only thing like I say this over and over, we like to go into, well, what if this and what if that? Listen, let's deal with the day, because tomorrow got enough evils in of itself. Something can happen where whatever I say today may change the trajectory based on what happened with him. What something might happen next week that change him and he do a 180. Who knows? So there's no way to
I follow you.
Yeah, so there's no way to plan on how, what choices he would make. But the choices that you're making right now may have a positive impact. Because you're about to be baptized. You're about to receive the Holy Spirit through your baptism, which also brings clarity. And what you would do with that clarity is resolve either way. I'm resolved, and I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket and deal with the Most High. And this is what it is. If he's blessed to be here with me, and this is what it is if he decide to be someplace else. But here's the choice I'm making. Right?
Thank you. Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, and I pray that it all works out right for you. But get yourself together first. Right? Get yourself together, and then
most definitely.
And then bring him in. Ask him, do you want to come in for counseling?
All right. Thank you, and you have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, bless you. This has been a great discussion. I'm not going to have too many of these because I'm going into some more of my beast stuff down the line. But I thought that this conversation would be good in helping brothers and sisters. And if you're single, and haven't made decisions yet, I mean, this video here will work volumes in your life when it comes to making choices. It will speak volumes and help you make decisions according to the Almighty and the Almighty's purpose. With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High be with you. Thank you all for being loyal Patreon members. Stay prayed up, sin not. We will soon see Zion. Shalom.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel.
Shabbat Shalom.
And 712